job.
Welcome, Homeless Life Stories.
Philadelphia City, where the Liberty Bell once rang out like the heartbeat of a nation newly born. Today, that echo still lingers on cobblestone streets, where tourists stop to take photos, where history is etched into every brick. Yet just beyond the polished walls of glass towers, just beneath the silent shadows of bridges, lies another Philadelphia not written in history books, but carved into the flesh and spirit of thousands fighting to survive each day. In the place proudly called the City of Brotherly Love, more than 4,000 people are without a home. Each number is not just data, it is a face, a gaze, a trembling breath in the winter night. They are like fallen leaves carried away by the cold winds of a society overflowing with light, yet starved of human warmth. And you may ask yourself, can a city ever truly be great, while unseen souls wander its margins, forgotten and ignored? If you are hearing these words, I invite you to explore them further. Like, comment, and subscribe to Homeless Life Stories, not just as support, but as a way to keep these stories from fading into silence. Because every share, every mention is a declaration. They still exist, they are still worthy of being heard. So are you ready to lift the glittering veil of Philadelphia and feel the aching heartbeat of those forced to live in the shadows?
Negative K, nothing further, just Kitty Candy on the corner.
1. The heart of Philadelphia and the darkness beyond the glory. Philadelphia, a city in the northeastern United States, covering more than 369 km2 with a population of about 1.58 million, was once the stage for the nation's earliest chapters. This is the city of the Liberty Bell, of Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, enduring symbol of freedom and the birth of a country. Each year, more than 40 million visitors come here, strolling down cobblestone streets, exploring the bustling Reading Terminal Market, or gazing up at skyscrapers that mirror the morning light. To many, Philadelphia stands as proof of the American dream fulfilled, modern, historic, and alive with energy. But when night falls over the Delaware River, another Philadelphia emerges.
The first time I came to Kensington, I had an addiction years ago.
At the very heart of this historic city, more than 4,000 people have no roof to return to each night. They take shelter beneath bridges, in parks, or down alleys where the light never reaches. Weary faces and silent figures vanish into the rush of the crowd. This is where Homeless Life Stories begins, not to judge or pity, but to listen and understand. Because behind every face that seems invisible lies a story, a memory, and a dream left unfinished. If Philadelphia is celebrated as the cradle of liberty, then here lies the paradox. How can a city of brotherly love allow so many to live as if they are forgotten? That question leads us deeper, from cold statistics to truths that pierce the heart. And that will be our journey ahead, where the true roots of this crisis slowly come into view. 2. The true face of the crisis. Every night in Philadelphia City, spanning more than 142 square miles, 1,200 people are forced to sleep outside without shelter. That number only scratches the surface. Thousands more live in hidden homelessness, couch surfing with friends, staying in old cars, or occupying abandoned houses they cannot remain in for long. These are not just drifters. They include single mothers, LGBTQ teens rejected by their families, and veterans who once wore the uniform but now wander the streets alone. The causes cannot be traced to a single factor. They are the collision of multiple storms. Rent prices in Philadelphia have surged by more than 30% over the past 8 years, while median incomes have barely inched forward. A one-bedroom apartment now costs about $1,450 a month, while many low-wage workers earn just $15 an hour, forcing them to spend more than half their pay on housing. Add to this an overwhelmed mental health system, a devastating opioid epidemic, and cuts to social safety nets, all combining into a vicious cycle nearly impossible to escape. In Kensington, I met Lila, a 36-year-old woman. She sat on the curb, her face gaunt, but her eyes still carrying a flicker of life. Lila told me she once worked part-time at a grocery store, sharing a small apartment with friends. But when addiction took hold, her family drifted away, her job disappeared, and the path led her to the makeshift tent she now calls home. The hardest part isn't the hunger, she whispered. It's the feeling that I don't belong anywhere anymore. Her words caught in my throat, for who among us hasn't longed for a place to call home? Through Lila's story, we begin to see that behind those faceless numbers are real people with fears, with memories, with hopes that refuse to die. And to grasp the weight of their struggle, we must step closer into the details of daily life, where survival itself becomes a constant battle. 3. Street life and the struggle to survive. Philadelphia is home to more than 90 public parks scattered across the city. But for many experiencing homelessness, parks are no longer places of leisure. They are shelters of last resort. Benches in Logan Square, overpasses along the Vine Street Expressway, and pathways near the Schuylkill River Trail have all become beds for hundreds of people. The latest data shows that nearly 14,000 people in Philadelphia experience homelessness at some point each year. That number is not just a statistic, it's the reflection of a parallel city where survival depends on the smallest things, a piece of cardboard, a thin blanket, or simply a hidden corner where no one looks. Life on the streets is filled with challenges most of us could never imagine. A morning might begin with a desperate search for a public restroom. There are fewer than 20 regularly operating free restrooms in the entire city. Showers are a rare privilege, often possible only in shelters or churches that open their doors. At night, sleep is never complete. The noise of traffic, the fear of theft, and the loneliness beneath the city lights never let it rest. One evening in Kensington, I met Andrew, a man in his 40s, lean, his face deeply lined. He told me he once had steady work at a small auto repair shop in South Philly. But when hardship struck, he lost his job and soon the ability to pay rent. From that day, Andrew has lived on the sidewalk, each day an exhausting journey to find shelter, food, and a shred of peace. The hardest part, he said slowly, is holding on to the belief that tomorrow will still give me a reason to go on. His words carried no bitterness, a quiet sorrow, enough to move anyone willing to stop and listen. Stories like Andrew's remind us that life on the streets is not only about material deprivation, it is about the loss of dignity of being recognized as fully human. While the city moves in its noisy rhythm, they exist on its margins, places rarely touched by light. But to truly understand why, we must look back at the root causes and at a system pushed beyond its limits. 4. Social support and its limits. For years, Philadelphia has worked to ease the pressure of its homelessness crisis, but the social support system remains full of gaps. The city's shelters provide more than 4,500 beds, yet they are never enough for the thousands who wander each night. Strict rules about belongings, pets, or curfews lead many to choose the streets over cramped, restrictive rooms. A city rich in history and culture, with more than 67 districts, still cannot find a comprehensive solution for those left behind. One striking example is the city's new law restricting the operation of mobile medical and harm reduction vans in Kensington. Under the rules, these vans cannot park near schools, residential areas, or community centers, and may only operate at designated sites, mainly at night. The intent was to balance community needs with medical aid. But without a proper licensing system, enforcement has stalled, leaving many without timely care. And one must ask, is it fair for helping hands to be forced into waiting? Nine months after the encampment sweep in Kensington, the city reported some progress. Gun-related violence fell by 57%, and authorities seized more than 24,000 grams of fentanyl and illegal drugs worth $40 million. On paper, these were early successes. But walking through the neighborhood, one still sees long lines of unsheltered people, many still drowning in addiction. Numbers may fall, but they cannot replace the weary eyes and unending sighs. The streets may be cleaner, but the hearts of those people remain unhealed. A spark of hope comes from Riverview Wellness Village, a newly opened recovery center in northeast Philadelphia, offering 336 beds for those emerging from treatment. It represents a humane turn and new path leading them off the streets into recovery with real support. Small rooms, counseling sessions, and job training programs have begun planting seeds of a different future.
Even though I don't have a job, the little money that I get, it all goes to this. And like I said, if I don't do it, I basically become sick.
On my visits, I met a man in Kensington who once worked as a construction laborer, but was pulled into the spiral of drugs. Sitting against an old wall, his eyes still clouded with confusion, he whispered. At first it was just to forget the exhaustion. But then it took everything from me. His life slipped off its axis, and now he clings to the faint light offered by this recovery program. He does not ask for pity, only for a chance to prove that he still deserves a place in society. Stories like his remind us that support is not just about statistics, new beds, or policy changes. It is about whether society dares to look at them with compassion. Because behind every face is a person yearning to be called by name, to be seen, and to be given a second chance. And once we understand that, we see clearly the true limits are not in budgets or laws, but in the human heart. Five, social impact and public health. When we talk about the homelessness crisis in Philadelphia, we often think in numbers: more than 4,000 people without shelter, over 1,200 sleeping on sidewalks and in parks each night. Behind those cold figures, however, lies a public health emergency that few see in full. In areas like Kensington, where many unhoused people gather, communicable illnesses such as hepatitis C or tuberculosis quietly spread amid scarce hygiene facilities and limited access to clean water. A city long proud to be a regional medical hub with more than 90 hospitals and clinics still has people living in the shadow of care. Can we really say this is only their problem? It isn't just an infectious disease. Worsening mental health challenges deepen the crisis. Studies indicate that nearly 40% of people experiencing homelessness in Philadelphia face conditions such as depression, anxiety, or PTSD. Yet getting help can feel like a marathon: no insurance, no identification, and wait lists that stretch for months before seeing a professional. In that time, isolation grows and some slip toward harmful coping behaviors. Imagine living with unrelenting uncertainty day after day. Could any of us keep our faith intact? I recall a woman I met in Kensington with exhausted eyes. She told me that the day before her son's funeral, she suffered a severe medical crisis related to substances that left her barely able to stand. With pain piling on pain and no timely support, she felt a vast emptiness opening between herself and the world. Her voice trembled as she said, "I just want somewhere to lean, a hand to hold, to know I'm not alone." Her story is not only a mother's grief, it is a mirror reflecting gaps in the city's safety net. These problems do not stop at the individual, they strain the entire community. Hospitals absorb rising costs, social service agencies are overwhelmed, and unemployment and poverty remain high in several districts. In North Philadelphia, the poverty rate exceeds 42%. The number of unhoused residents turning to relief services has doubled in just 5 years. The pressure is turning healthcare and welfare into a garment too tight to cover everyone left in the cold. And this is the vicious cycle. Poverty increases the risk of homelessness. Homelessness brings illness and loss of work, and that, in turn, deepens poverty. Without foundational change, the circle never closes. We need more than stopgaps, need a new approach, one that links health, housing, and work as inseparable pieces of the same whole. Six, Kensington and the spiral of dependency. To understand why Philadelphia's homelessness crisis persists, we have to look at the root causes. From 2015 to 2020, average rents in the city rose by more than 35%, while median household incomes climbed only about 9%, according to the Philadelphia Housing Authority. A one-bedroom apartment at roughly $1,450 a month has become unattainable for workers earning the minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. When housing devours more than half a paycheck, a single shock job loss, illness, or an unexpected bill can push a family into homelessness. In such conditions, couldn't any one of us be forced to the margins? The safety net is also stretched thin. In 2022, the affordable housing waitlist in Philadelphia held roughly 15,000 households, with average waits of 3 to 5 years. Rental assistance programs meet only about 20% of actual need. Thousands are forced into hidden homelessness, staying with friends, sleeping in cars, or sheltering in abandoned buildings. Is a system truly protective if it leaves people waiting so long that their lives unravel? Healthcare, especially behavioral health, remains a major gap. Even with more than 1,600 medical facilities across the city, only a fraction offer services designed for people without stable housing. Private insurance is out of reach, and those without a fixed address are often excluded from public programs. Physical pain and psychological wounds become long-term burdens without care, pushing people further from stability. All this shows that homelessness is not merely the sum of personal choices, it is the product of intertwined inequities in income, housing, and healthcare. If we look only with judgment, we ignore a fundamental truth. This crisis grows from a system that still isn't fair. Can a city truly be strong while thousands sleep in the shadows of its towers? Seven, a ray of hope in new models. Say Philadelphia, and many picture the Liberty Bell or time-worn cobblestone streets. But walk north to Kensington Avenue, and you step into a different reality, often described as the epicenter of homelessness and substance dependence. City data from 2024 estimates that more than 1,000 people there live outdoors, nearly 70% coping with some form of dependency. Streets are frequently littered with hazardous litter, and in the 9 months after a major encampment operation, authorities confiscated more than 24,000 grams of high-risk substances, enough to shake any community. Who would imagine such a harsh reality in a modern American city? We met Andrew, a man in his 40s living in Kensington. He once had a home and steady blue-collar work, but life changed in an instant. After a personal crisis, he lost his footing. He still carries injuries that make walking difficult. Homelessness for Andrew isn't just the absence of a bed. It's the daily struggle with the smallest basics, finding drinking water, a place to wash, or simply a seat where he won't be told to move along. The hardest part is feeling forgotten, he said. Here I'm invisible in a crowded street. His words make you wonder, how often have we passed by without offering even a glance? Kensington is not merely a place for a makeshift shelter, it is also where dependency tightens its grip. The city's health department estimates that about 38% of unhoused residents here struggle with dependency on powerful substances. These numbers are more than statistics, warn us that homelessness and dependency are intertwined, a loop that tightens unless compassion and comprehensive care intervene. What if we chose to see people not as addicts or the homeless, but as neighbors searching for a second chance? And yet, in Kensington's side streets, I still see glimmers of hope in eyes that hold not just despair, but a quiet longing for a hand outstretched, for a safe place to sleep, for a small doorway back to ordinary life. That is why Homeless Life Stories exists, so that stories like Andrew's will not be buried in silence. Eight, social supports and their limits. Many believe Philadelphia has a strong network for those without shelter. It's true, there are hundreds of beds and shelters, meals from faith communities and nonprofits, and volunteer teams handing out blankets and water nightly. Look closer though, and the limits are stark, often like a maze with no exit. A 2024 report from the Office of Homeless Services suggests that in winter, only about 1 in 4 people who seek a bed actually get one. That means thousands must sleep on sidewalks, in parks, or beneath bridges. Imagine having to choose your spot each night by which street corner blocks the wind. A recent controversy involves new rules governing mobile outreach in Kensington. The city limited these vehicles' mobile clinics and harm reduction teams to certain designated sites, mostly at night, and barred them from stopping near schools or community centers. While intended to reduce street disorder, the change forces those in need to travel farther for services. Compounding it all, licensing and implementation delays left many outreach groups stuck in paperwork. Has control, however well meant, turned compassion into a luxury. After nearly a year of encampment operations in Kensington, officials reported some results: a 57% drop in incidents involving firearms, along with the seizure of contraband valued at roughly $40 million, and more than 24,000 grams of dangerous substances. Yet the problem has not disappeared. Rather than addressing root causes, many unhoused people were simply displaced, pushed to new corners to endure the same hardship. Does cleaning a block mean we have cleansed the pain? A rare bright spot is the opening of Riverview Wellness Village in Northeast Philadelphia City's largest recovery campus, with 336 beds for those transitioning from treatment. It's a humane pivot, a potential off-ramp back to stability. Still, measured against a citywide count of more than 5,700 unhoused individuals, capacity remains small. Could villages like this become keys that unlock hope? On our journey documenting homeless life stories, we met Laila, now living on the streets of Kensington. She once had a home and a family. Years of dependency took those anchors away. Her voice tightened as she described cold nights curled on the curb, people passing as if she were unseen. "I used to dream of something simple," she said. "A small room with a window that lets in light, and someone saying my name in the morning." What she longs for is not only a roof, but recognition that she still belongs to this community. Could a greeting, a kind look, be the foothold that makes tomorrow feel possible? Nine. A mirror held to a nation. Philadelphia, to more than 1.6 million people, still stands as the cradle of liberty, its declaration of independence echoing through time. Yet alongside that light, shadows stretch under bridges, across parks, and down narrow streets. More than 4,000 people are counted unhoused each night, and that is only the surface. Look closely and you see not just Philadelphia's story, but a reflection of America itself, a wealthy nation where thousands lose not only their homes, but faith in basic fairness. Is a nation's strength measured by its skyline or by how it treats those most at risk? The truth is visible on every corner. A city with Reading Terminal Market, over 80 bustling stalls, sits only blocks away from long lines for free meals. A city crowned by the 297-meter Comcast Center has, at its base, someone sheltering on a sheet of cardboard. The contrast is more than jarring, asking whether the gap between prosperity and neglect is widening before our eyes. This is why Homeless Life Stories exists, to retell, to remind, so we do not look away. The everyday stories of Lila, of Andrew, of a mother who steadied herself after unbearable loss, are a human plea. Any of us can be a bridge that leads someone back to hope. Can a small act to check in, a shared resource, a moment of care change someone's tomorrow? A doorway for reflection. Philadelphia closes this chapter like a cracked mirror. Beneath the city's gleaming glass, Lives are scattered across cold pavement. Each vacant eve, each piece of cardboard on concrete, is a wrinkled page in a book not yet finished. This city and this country are composing a long song in two keys, brilliance and shadow. That very contrast makes the wound clearer and harder to ignore. Look closer and you'll find a faint light in tired eyes, like a spark in a sandstorm, a seed pushing through dry, split earth. The stories in Homeless Life Stories are not for knowledge alone. They are for feeling, for recognizing that behind the numbers are hearts still longing to be loved. So when this video ends, the question is not only for the MIT, is for us. Do we have the courage to face that cracked mirror and see ourselves in it? Do we pass by? Or do we pause to offer a hand, a word, a look? If you believe these stories deserve to be heard, please like, comment with your reflections, and subscribe to Homeless Life Stories. Each interaction is more than a metric, is an echo that tells those adrift on the sidewalk that they are still seen, still remembered, and never fully erased from the human family.